welcome to the third video of this series that we have started. And today we are going to deal with the question and answers that are the brainstorming of lessons that we have done into the wild. Now, as you all know, my dear children, that a very interesting incident was taught to you, which was an extract of the book which was written by Kiran Bhargave, and the name of the book was Sakha Nagdira. Now, let me quickly tell you what have we studied in the first two parts of the lesson. In the first part, we saw a very interesting and an adventurous experience of Kiran Purandare of how he got lost in the jungle while he was returning home. And how he was afraid when the langurs started giving the alarm call, and these animals give the alarm calls whenever there is a bigger predator than them coming on their way. So finally, he reaches home. In the second part, we learn about another personality, that is Shah Zang, who was a wildlife photographer, who was a cinematographer, and how he has created employment opportunities for the people living in the areas nearby the forest, and how he is trying to be a, a mediator between the man and wildlife. So, without wasting further time, let us move on to the brainstorming questions which are given below your textbook. I hope that you all are there with your textbooks and you go on writing the answers or marking the answers as I discussed with you. Now, we are on page number 61, my dear children, and the first question of your textbook goes like this. Discuss the professions and challenges one can take happily if one is really passionate about the job. Now, this question is a type of group discussion question wherein you have to discuss with your friends and find out the various career options that are there and what difficulties you face. Now, what are the career options? There are numerous career options today. Other than doctors, engineers, and lawyers, there are a number of professions that one can take up. It is in the art side where you can be a choreographer, you can be a script writer, you can be anything that you want to be. Now, in every field or in whatever profession that you choose, there are some challenges that one has to face. You will face those challenges happily only when you are passionate about that job. So, for example, if you want to be a sportsman, of course, there's a big challenge of being fit, the pressure of the team, the expectation of your country, so on and so forth. So, you have to discuss such career options and what challenges possibly they can face. You have to discuss and write it down in your notebook. The second question: organize a role play activity associated with wildlife expert, wildlife photographer, wildlife conservator, explaining the differences and similarity involved in their profession. Now, one is a wildlife expert, one is a photographer, and one is conservator. Now, when you listen to this, it might seem that these all professions are same, but they are all not same, my dear children. They are all different in their, they have some similarities in them, but they have huge differences also in them. So you can find out and write it down in your textbook or your notebook. Now, the second question, the next question that we are going to deal is, they have given us four statements. Now, इस question के बारे में बहुत से बच्चों को confusion होता है एग्जाम में भी, you know, क्योंकि आप लोग क्वेश्चन को सही ढंग से समझते नहीं हो. आपको ये समझना है कि आपको एक्सपेक्टेड क्या है आपसे, आपको क्या करना है. Now, many a times, in your passages, you come across questions that identify the true statements. They have given you four statements, and after reading the passage, you have to give them two statements that are correct. But most of the students, they write out the four statements and they give explanation of those sentences. You don't have to do that. I am explaining you the question. Try to understand what the question is. Now, in this question, you have to arrange these four statements in sequence. ये चारों सेंटेंसेस अपने लेसन में हम पढ़ चुके हैं पार्ट 1 में. आपको इसको क्रम से लगाना है शुरुआत से, जैसे ये हुआ है. ओके, नाउ फर्स्ट सेंटेंसेस, द राइटर रियलाइज्ड दैट ही वाज लॉस्ट इन woods. Woods means forest. Second statement, the langur saw the leopard. Third, the author was moving from the jungle as quietly as possible, finding his way through the thicket. And fourth, the author met a villager. If you remember the lesson that I taught you in the first video, so how does it start? This lesson starts first when the writer started moving towards his home. Slowly he was moving out of the jungle. So the, let us see the answers of the questions. Now the first what we are going to see is the first answer that we are discussing right now. So if you see what happened in the sequence, you can see the answer given on your screen. The C option is the first one. The author was moving quietly from the jungle. This is the first sentence. The second sentence is the langur saw the leopard. Third, the author met the villager, Raju Iskape, the name of that villager. Then the last one is the writer realized that he was lost in the woods. This is the correct sequence of the four statements that are given in your question. Let us move on to the next now. Next question now. Now the next question is करेक्ट द फॉल्स स्टेटमेंट. अभी आपको यहाँ पर ये करना है कि चार स्टेटमेंट में से दो स्टेटमेंट्स गलत हैं, आपको उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना है और उनको करेक्ट करना है. नाउ दिस इज फॉर द नॉन इंग्लिश मीडियम स्टूडेंट्स. You have to first identify the wrong statements and then you have to make it correct. Now you don't have to use your mind, you have to just take the help of the text that is available to you. Okay, now what are we going to do with the correct ones? We are not going to do anything with the correct ones. You have to leave the correct ones as it is. So they have given you four statements. The first two statements are true. A and B statements. These two statements are true. The third statement that they have given us, Shah failed to utilize the finance incurred out of tourism. Now Shah's home, whatever income that he gained from the tourism, did he fail to put it to proper use? It is false. The correct answer is the correct statement. These are the correct wrong options that the two options are wrong. And how are you going to put it? The correct statement is that Shah put the best use of that money that he gained out of tourism. The next statement, the D statement is also wrong. According to the local agriculturists, seeing is more essential than listening. Now, if you move to the lesson, if you go back to the text, it is very clearly stated in the second last page that listening is more important to seeing. In this manner, we have to correct the two statements that are given wrong in the textbook. Now, third one. Now, my dear children, you are going to be given some web diagrams that you have to complete. Now, how do you make a web diagram? What is the thing that you're going to do with a web diagram? Whenever you do a web diagram, do it in the manner as it is given in the textbook. Textbook page number 62, they have given you a question and you have to write four statements supporting that statement. Now complete the web. Signs of vicinity of the village. Now what do you mean by that? Signs of vicinity. When the writer was going towards his home, when did he realize that he has reached the village? Writer को कब ऐसा लगा कि वो गांव पहुंच गया है? After roaming in the jungle, after getting lost in the jungle, किन चीजों को देखकर राइटर को ये पता चल गया कि he has come close to the village. Now the four statements that support this question is first, marks of the bicycle wheel. Now in the entire jungle, nobody is going to take the bicycle, right? In village itself, we find the use of bicycle. So the first statement that would come in that box that they have given you. Now you have to make use of the boxes and answer it there itself. The first statement is the mark of bicycle wheel. Second, the droppings of blue bull, the fresh cow dung of the bull that we saw. Third, the sound of the loudspeaker. In the last paragraph, my dear children, last paragraph of the first extract, first part, very clearly it was given that he was able to hear the sound of people speaking on the loudspeaker. And the last option was lantern of a farm. When he came close to the village, when he saw the village, he could see all these four trees. So it is given, the answer is given on your screen. Now let us move to the next. The next question is complete the following table. The fourth option, the fourth flow chart that we are doing today. Responsibilities handled by Charles. Now, Charles, we have studied about him in the second part. Okay. Now, what are the four major responsibilities that was handled by Charles? The first one is he was a photographer, a cinematographer, and a big cat tracker. He was also a tourist guide and he had a good experience of tracing or tracking these big lions and leopards. Second, he was man-animal conflict resolver. Okay, he played a major role in resolving the conflict between man and wild animals. Then what else did he do? What responsibility means? What role was played by him? Then he also led photography safaris in Africa. He showcases his work in art galleries. And last one, he is a lodge owner. He is a lodge owner. Now, next to flow chart, I leave it to you. Now, you have to go back to the text and you have to find out and complete the flow chart. Flow chart has to be completed in sequence, okay, in the order of its happening. Now, move on to the next question, okay. Complete the web describing each step taken by the writer as a solitary traveler while moving into the jungle with great precaution. Now, when I taught you the first part, I explained it to you in detail how the writer was cautiously treading his way out of the forest. Because first thing, he was a solitary traveler, मतलब वो अकेला था, there was nobody else with him. So, what steps or what action was he taking? What precaution was he taking while moving out of the forest? First thing he did was he was camouflaging his height. Okay, an artificial home that they make or a shelter that they make in the forest. He was scanning the area visually. First, he was seeing each and everything very detailed. Second, he was trying to make minimum sound as was possible. Then he was keeping his eyes wide open. Okay, he was walking very carefully among the trees and he was grasping various sounds. Because he was very attentive towards the voices, then he understood the alarm call that the Nangus were giving. So these are the precautions that the writer took while moving in the forest. The next question. Complete the table explaining the qualities that you would like to imbibe from nature. Imbibe means that you would accept or adopt from the nature. Now they have given us two things of the nature. One is tree and the other one is tree. What would you like to, what quality of trees would you like to accept or inculcate? Now, firstly, we are not talking about the uses of tree. The tree gives us shade, the tree gives us oxygen, it maintains the ecological balance. We are not talking about the uses of tree. We are talking about the quality. पेड़ की क्वालिटी बतानी है जो क्वालिटी आप अपने अंदर अपने आप में एक्सेप्ट करना चाहते हो. द फर्स्ट क्वालिटी of tree and the quality of stream. Now, the quality that the tree has is that the tree has a lot of patience in it. Now, how the tree has patience in it? Because the tree has to face various seasons, be it summer, be it winter, then comes rainy season, then comes autumn, and in all these seasons, the tree has to bear up with all these seasons. And not only it doesn't stop with the seasons, even animals and birds attack the tree. But does the tree stop growing? Does the tree stop giving? Another big quality of the tree is a giver, a universal giver, without expecting anything in return. So, in spite of facing all these problems, the tree is the one who keeps on giving and growing. So, patience is the quality that one has to accept from the tree. The second one is perseverance. Now, perseverance means the ability to carry on. Okay, not doing good work once and giving it up again or giving it up forever. You have to carry on the work that you're doing. The continuity in your good work always matters. Okay, so streams are famous for making the way from the rocks. We see that even a rock cannot stop a stream from flowing. So these are the qualities that we can undertake from the stream. Now, after this, I have some assignments for you. I have already explained the chapter in detail. We have also discussed new words, the difficult phrases. Now we are going to, you have to complete the following assignments in your notebooks. Now there are two fill in the blanks which you have to complete. Then you have to complete the question given on page number 62, 63, and you have to prepare interview questions, 8 to 10 interview questions that you would ask if you interview Mr. Kiran Purandare. Now let us discuss the next question given fill in the blanks. Now you have to write out those questions in the blanks in your notebook itself. Okay? So what does that question go? Or what does that question say? Choose appropriate phrases and complete the statement. Now they have given you four phrases. Okay, and you have to complete fill in the blanks with those phrases which are given in the bracket. Now, see, first, before filling those phrases, you have to understand the meaning of the phrases. Now, what are the options that they have given us? Time and again, to one's heart's content, frantic speed, and in a jiffy. Now, I was on diet for some days, but today I am going to eat dash dash dash. Now look at the options up. What would be there? After after being on diet for some days, today I am going to eat to my heart's content. Today I am going to eat to my heart's content. Second one, every mother scolds her children time and again for overuse of mobile phones. Now, time and again means repeatedly. That is the meaning of the word time and again. Next one. All the educational problems were sorted out dash dash because of the funds given by an NGO. Now, the answer to this would be the problems were sorted in a jiffy because the funds were given by the NGO. Raju ran at a frantic speed to catch the train. Now, after this, the next question. Now, this is very important from your exam point of view also. Now, firstly, you have to understand the question that has been asked to you. Now, the question is: begin the sentence from the word given in the bracket. They have given us a sentence, and from that sentence they have given us one word. उसी सेंटेंस में से एक वर्ड उन्होंने दिया है और आपको एक्सपेक्टेड है कि आप दोबारा से सेंटेंस लिखो विथ दैट वर्ड एज द स्टार्टिंग वर्ड. Okay, now see, you don't have to change the meaning of the sentence. That is the number one thing. Whenever you apply whether you change the tense, whether you transform the sentence from a positive sentence to a negative sentence, we are going to deal the grammar topics also soon in the coming videos. But when you deal with this question right now, keep one thing always in mind that you don't have to change the meaning of the sentence. The meaning of the sentence stays as it is. Okay? So I am going to do a few sentences for you. The remaining ones you have to attempt on your own. I can guide visitors. Now only four words are there in this sentence. If you see, I can guide visitors. Bracket में उन्होंने दिया है visitors. We have to write the statement again, beginning with visitors. Now how the sentence will come? Visitors can be guided by me. Visitors can be guided by me. I in the sentence becomes me because it has come to the end of the sentence. Animals are paying me back. Animals are paying me back. In the bracket, they have given us the word I. I am being paid by the animals. I am being paid by the animals. In this manner, you have to complete the further sentences that they have given us down. Then let us move on to page number 64. Your college has decided to celebrate World Environment Day, and Mr. Kiran Purakare has been invited as the chief guest for the event. Imagine you are the secretary of Nature Club of your college, and you have to conduct an interview of Mr. Kiran Purakare. Frame 8 to 10 questions for the same. This question you have to do for your assignment. Okay? You have already done interview question in standard 10, in standard 11, and again in standard 12 you are having this question. You have to prepare only questions. The answers are not expected. 8 to 10 questions that are expected that you will ask for a wildlife conserver, a writer, a person who has spent his entire life in the forest, preserving it, and a lot of work he has done for the environment. So all your questions would be related and pertaining to the topic that you have been given. Next question. Imagine you have visited the jungles of Nagarhole. Write a report to be published in your college magazine or in a local newspaper. You also know how to write a report. So you have to prepare a short report imagining that you have visited the forest of Nagarhole. Next is what they have asked you to prepare an appeal. After that, the next question is a mind mapping. Now, this question of mind mapping I'm going to teach you in the next video. So you can leave it for now. Once I finish teaching you that mind mapping, you can continue with that. Okay? Serve the net and obtain more information about the conservation work done by Shah. Prepare posters to inspire others and display them on your college notice board. Now, there are many people, my dear children, who are doing marvelous job in saving the nature. The people, especially there are few truckers or the cyclists, they have also taken up the job of cleaning the environment, preserving our environment. Some of the celebrities have also started, cleaning the beaches, if you can see on social media. So really, you should collect such information and paste it on your college notice board so that it could be a matter of inspiration for other people as well. We always think that it is the government's duty and let the government do it. But it is absolutely wrong. Even you and I are a part of the nature, and we also have to given our effort. We also have to play our role in maintaining the nature around us. So collect posters of such people who are doing outstanding job. Even common people are doing a great job. So find out some information about such people and put it on your college notice board. And the last one, find out the information about the qualification eligibility required for the profession related to the wildlife. Now they have given you some career options, okay? And you have to find out that what is the criteria or what is the eligibility that is required for you to become the officer of that post. First is the forest officer or forest ranger, environmentalist, food manager, wildlife photographer, and geologist. So, very important and interesting lesson. We come to an end of that chapter now. So, read the chapter again, go through it again. The entire paper is an activity-based paper for you. You are not going to get a lot of essay-type questions to write. Everything is related to words, phrases, meanings, synonyms, antonyms. So, you have to read the chapter again, underline the keywords, attempt the question answer. The brainstorming is done with that purpose so that you complete your writing work also. Okay? So I hope you understood this lesson well. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy and keep studying, my dear children. God bless you.